Alright, so what's good YouTube man? It's your boy FX here and I'm back with another video guys. This is gonna be a great video. If you clicked on this video, do not click off, bro, because you're gonna learn so much. If you want a Forex strategy, if you want to learn how to trade, if you want a strategy that is so simple, even a baby can actually understand how to apply the strategy on your own charts and start trading and start to make money and actually start to making some progress because I don't want to like stray too much far from the topic or I don't want to stray far from like why I about the setup itself, but I just want to explain why it's so important to just watch the video and try to learn something. This is one of the best strategies out there. I'm not even gonna lie, it's the most simple strategy. You can backtest it yourself and you'll see that this shit always hit, and it's so easy to understand. I remember when I just started out and I was trying to learn a strategy, or I was trying to find a strategy to trade. It was so hard because every other strategies out there was just so complicated to understand. But this supply and demand strategy is so easy to understand. I swear to God, if you just try to learn and watch the video and try to understand, you will get it eventually. Now, in this particular trade, I was able to make over $3,000 today, right? Literally, I was able to make over $3,000. I took this demand setup, as you can see, I marked in my demand zone right there. Price break structures to the upside. As you can see, price aggressively shot out to my demand zone, break these structures here. Let me show you what I mean by break structures for the persons who don't really understand if you're new to trading, right? No, this right here, this line here, this is a high, right? This is a swing high, pretty much. Right here, this is called a high, right? Now, once price broke out of my zone, which is here, this purple box, and when price broke out of my zone and it ended up, after price broke out of my zone, it ended up breaking these highs. Now, that's a good indication that price wants to go up, right? Because if you know how the market moves, and if you understand price action, you'd also understand that the market moves in a pattern. It makes higher highs and lower lows. Now, if price broke out of my zone, made a higher high, this high is higher than these highs, so this is a higher high. When price makes a higher high, it is expected to make a lower low, which it exactly did here. It made a higher high here. It came back into my zone after it shot out of my zone or my demand zone, came back into my zone, made a lower low. This low is higher than this low, so it's called a lower low. And that's pretty much was my um that was just my cue or indication to pretty much get in this trade because I understood that there was a good chance as long as price broke out of this zone right here, break these high, came back into my zone, especially seeing the fact that there was a gap here. I don't know, a lot of you guys may know it as a fair value gap or whatever, but I call it gaps. It doesn't really matter. This here, right in between this space here, is called a gap. And this is a very important note. Gaps are so important. It's so important to understand gaps in the market because the way how the market moves, it always tries to fill in the gaps, right? Because that's just how it moves. It needs to mirror pretty much places in the market that price hasn't retraced back to, right? So if you look between this space here, price shot out of it. These wicks, so this wick here, in between this wick here, let me try to, I'm gonna try to break that down a little bit more for you guys. Let me just remove this zone here. And I need to remove that too. Yeah, I'm gonna just remove it. So I just want you guys to understand what are gaps because gaps really changed the way how my trading journey took off. Really, once I started like implementing gaps in my trading, then I really started seeing a lot of results. And I really do think if you guys start doing the same thing too, then you'll start to see a lot of result in your trading journey too. But it's important to understand gaps. And gaps, when you can align your supply and demand trades with gaps, then there's a higher chance that price will always come back. But I just want you to remember that price always try to fill in gap. And I saw that with my demand setup here, there was a gap in between my demand setup, my demand zone, which was here. Hope I'm not confusing you guys. I'm still trying to get used to this whole teaching thing. right? Because I really do want you guys to learn how to trade. But as you can see, there was a gap, right? And I knew that, based on just trading over the years, this is something that I've noticed myself, that when a market has a gap in it, prices are going to always try to fill in that gap. So I knew that after price shot out to my demand zone, and I saw that there was a gap that needs to be filled, I knew that price was going to end up coming back to my zone. I knew it. It's not always the case, but majority of the time, price will try to come back to my zone. And all I did literally was waited for price to pretty much come back to my zone, and then I entered the trade. Pretty much entered right. I think I entered around here, right? And my stop loss was right below these wicks, and I was aiming for a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, which was somewhere up in here, right? And I was able to make over $3,000. All right, but this is just the setup. But why did I decide to take a buy? Because that's the most important part, right? Why did I decide to take a buy? Now, obviously, I mean, you have to learn to go on the higher time frame to, choose your bias, because that's the most important thing. You have to learn how to choose your bias in the market. Have to learn how to choose your bias because the bias is going to determine if you're going to take a buy or sell, right? So, and it's always good to take trades that are going into the same direction as the higher time frame. Now, if you look on the higher time frame, such as the daily time frame, you'd see that the market was literally in an uptrend right here. Uptrend, clear uptrend. It's clear as day, right? Uptrend. The market was in a downtrend at this point, right here. Was pretty much in a downtrend. Then it pretty much changed direction at this point. Not sure why it decided to change direction. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what happened here. But yeah, it changed direction and it was in an uptrend, right? Now, I saw that what the market was in an uptrend and I saw that beautiful demand setup. Like that was the only thing I needed to see to decide to say, you know what, let me just take this trade and try to make some money. And that's literally what I did. Look at that. Nice trade. This was such a beautiful trade, bro. Textbook setup. This is one of my setups that if I see it on the market, just believe I'm going to take it. Right? Caught a nice 1 to 3. But so key points in this video, right? There's a few key points that I want to go over. And the first one is just try your best to always take trades that are going into the same direction as the overall time frame. I mean, as a scalper, yes, I can take trades that are going against the trend, but I try my best not to develop that kind of habit. I try my best to be strict with my trading plan, always try to take trades that are going into the same direction as the higher time frame. I mean, doing that will just increase your chance of, winning. And it also just give you the opportunity to be very picky with your trades. Like you can't, because the thing is, you're gonna always see, or based on what I've seen, I always see supply and demand trades, and there's gonna always be a lot of supply and demand setups in the market, right? On a daily basis, especially if you're a scalper on the 5 minutes time frame. Setups are always over the place. But the point is that it's not about, oh, there's a lot of setups. It's about taking a setup that is right and also a setup that's going to have a good chance to win. Because you don't want to be taking a lot of trades. I mean, there's a saying that goes, the less trades you take is better for you. Stop trying to take so many trades, 3, 4, 5 trades per day. My trading plan is maximum 2 trades per day. If I take one trade and it lose, okay, I'll try to find another trade, but I won't even rush it. Losing my first trade in a day is already an indication to me, okay, it's a bad day. The only sometime really and truly I like to take one trade, but maximum two. A lot of persons are taking 4, 5, 6 trades per day. Of course, if you're doing that, bro, that's not the right way to go. One, you're putting yourself at risk because the moment you go in a trade, you're losing money because there's spreads, there's commission, so you're already losing money. So practice to just find high probability setups and just take that setup. Be patient. A lot of times you're going to be in the market, you're going to see a setup. If it's just not looking the best, if it don't look good, be patient and wait for that high probability setup because it's those high probability setups that are always going to have a high chance to win. And that's the whole point of the game. You want to risk, it's like investing your money into a setup. That's literally what you're doing. Look at it like this. If there's a business, right, and this business maybe it doesn't have a good, I don't know, record or history of making money, or maybe there's a high chance of you losing money if you invest in this business. Would you want to spend your money in that business? Would you want to invest in that business? No. It's the same thing with setups. You need to look at a setup or a trade as as the same thing. It's like an investment. You're literally investing your money in a setup. Now, if you're going to invest your hard-earned money into a setup, you want to make sure that, hey, at least like I want to give myself a good chance of winning. So that's why you need to practice taking high probability trades. And high probability trades are always going to be those trades that are going into the same direction as the overall time frame. Go on a daily time frame, look at the daily structure. What is it doing? Is it in an uptrend? Is it in a downtrend? If it's in an uptrend, look for buys. If it's in a downtrend, look for sells. It's really that simple. And having discipline too is also extremely important. Having discipline is really, really important in this game because yes, there's going to be days where there's so many setups or there's so many crappy setups, but because you don't want to, I guess, go a day without trading, so you force a trade and you end up losing. Be patient, bro. You don't have to place a trade every single day. If you come to the market and you don't see any setup, fine, call it a day. Come back the next day and try to find a trade pretty much. So the most important thing is being patient, not feeling FOMO, which is feeling of missing out. Be patient, staying disciplined, only taking high probability setups, and this is something that I've just learned over a long period of time, over the years, pretty much after I've been trading, you know. I mean, I've just learned that it's not worth it to be rushing into trades, bro. Wait on that nice trade and just take it. Sometimes I take only two trades for the week because I only see two good setups. I don't rush trades, bro. And that's the thing. You have to learn how to separate yourself from pretty much the losers in this industry. I mean, they say that pretty much what 90% of traders lose. And that's true. I mean, it's completely true because a lot of persons don't have what it takes to become successful in trading, and that's just a harsh reality, you know. So if you're really serious about this game, bro, just stay disciplined, you know, stay in it in for the long term too, because by the end of the day, trading takes time. It takes time to learn how the market moves. Don't rush the process. I understand you want to make money. Everyone wants to make money, but this is not a sprint. Trading journey is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's gonna take you some time. It took me over 3 years. Maybe take a little less time for you, some persons it take 5 months, some persons it take 6 months. It all depends on how good you are as a person. It all depends on how fast you are, if you're a slow learner, if you're a fast learner. It really depends on the individual and the amount of work you're willing to put in to learn. This is a career choice. Look at it like if you go to college, you're expecting to spend at least 5, 6 years in college to get a degree. Look at trading as the same thing. It's pretty much a money-making opportunity. It requires time for you to learn this game, bro. If trading was easy, then everybody would be doing it. So take some pride into actually trying to be that those person to stick it out for the long term and actually make money. You know, so, I mean, I don't really think I have much else to say. I just really wanted to come on here and break down this trade, teach you guys something. I'm gonna make a full video in the future, you know, about supply and demand and just really give you guys a breakdown so you guys can actually learn how to trade supply and demand. I understand that in these videos I'm not really going into a full depth and I'm not really explaining the strategy itself, but I mean, not saying I don't want to give out free information, but I'm just kind of waiting. I mean, this is my strategy. It took me some time to learn this strategy and come up with it. So, I'm definitely gonna make a video about it though. So not to worry. But subscribe, comment, leave a like if you like this video. If you learned something, hopefully, you know, you learned something with this concern to the psychological aspect of trading because that's the most important thing. It's up here. Everything when it comes down to trading, it's up here. All right. So learn about psychology. Mark Douglas, that's the person who I learned from. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about Mark Douglas. Search him up. He speaks a lot about, you know, the whole psychological aspect of trading, which is the most important part to me, right? So you can definitely watch his videos and learn something about the psychological aspect, because in my opinion, that is really the majority of trading is here. Most of the games are being played here. When you're in a trade, you're extremely emotional. You need to learn to control yourself, relax. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. That's the name of the game. It's about winning over a longer period of time, taking trades over a month or 2 months and checking how much money you did make over that long period of time. It's not about how much money you made in a day or 2 days. That's nothing. It's about staying in for the long game. And yeah, I mean, this shit is the best, bro. Being able to trade from anywhere in the world from your laptop is the most. It's an amazing skill set to have because just being able to just make money by yourself and not having to worry about anybody else or depend on anybody else, but actually learning a skill set yourself and just being able to generate money all over the world and being able to do it from your laptop is a luxury, and also being able to make money in a fast period of time. Because at this trade, I was in this trade for like over 30 minutes, I think, and I was able to make over $3,000. So I think that's amazing. But that's it for the trade, guys. Hope you guys love this video. I'm gonna be making more videos in the future, as I said. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. That's it for the video. I'm out.